Hello everybody, we're the Johns and Josh has asked us if we could build a bike for his online classic competition company. So without further ado, let's have a look and see what he's given us to get on with.
So what have we got here then? It just looks like an old Triumph to me.
That's right, it's a 72650 T120R. What do you think?
Well, it sort of looks clean enough, but it's not exactly inspiring, is it?
Yeah, I agree. Let's do something interesting with it. Shall we give the viewers a clue?
Oh, I think our international stardom days are well behind us.
Yep, sadly so. However, he's sitting on a Rickman Métisse, and I think everything needed to build one is still available. We could use the old Triumph as a donor bike.
Was that engine used back in the day?
It was. Best engine for that frame, I think. And most of the kit and everything is still available. I'll go and see Adrian down at Rickman.
Sounds good. Let's have another look at what we've got.
It's pretty good for a 50-year-old bike.
Yeah, it looks it. So front to back, what are we going to keep for the build?
We have to keep this great conical front hub.
What about the front wheel rim?
No, it's too small, won't look right. We'll need a 21-inch rim on that. Forks should be okay, and we can use those yokes, and we'll just use the speedo. Obviously we'll keep the engine.
And the carb?
Yep, lovely little single Wassel carburettor.
Oh, those cases should polish up beautifully. Just like the other side, these cases look in pretty good nick.
Yep, barrels and head need a little bit of attention, but nothing major.
I guess we're using that lovely conical rear hub.
Oh yes, and the wheel, shocks maybe, depends on the stance.
didn't seem to go too bad, did it?
No, I'm quite pleased with that. Normally you can take these casings off and find all sorts of horrors. Apart from the usual chewed up clutch nuts, stator cables rock hard where the oil's burnt it, and in the side here I'm quite happy with that. All the teeth have got their, all the gears have got their teeth, all the teeth have got their teeth, and everything looks pretty good, so quite pleased with that. We've got haven't taken the top casings off yet. I think we'll leave that for another time, otherwise we're just going to have too much hanging around the workshop. But we'll get on and we'll clean the alloy up, make it look sweet, and then hopefully you'll start to see us put it all back together with some shiny bits. Okay, so here we are. We're going to revisit the engine today, see what we're going to do with that. Main things we want to be doing are head and barrel off, and we'll get these cam boxes off. We want to get the head and the cam boxes blasted so that they're all the same kind of texture, all the same kind of look. Some bits of it are polished, some bits of it aren't. The barrel, though it's painted black, it probably looks quite nice on film. Up close it's quite rough, so we just want to get that blasted off and get that reef painted.
And while we're at it, I think you want to the carb intake. Don't you want to have a little chat about that?
Yeah, well, it's not just this engine, but I've worked on a few of these in my time. What always makes me laugh is I don't think that the socket set was invented when they built these, because it's nigh on impossible to put a socket on the nut on these, because they've made the casting too close to the nuts. So it's a spanner of various sizes to get them on and off, which is a pain in the arse.
Would you kindly do the honours?
Yeah, here we go. Here we have the moment of truth. The guy I bought this bike off had said, it's all been done. And now we're about to find out.
Oh, that was nice
Happy
and
with that.
easy, wasn't it? Nice
Happy
and easy.
with that.
Let's have a little look.
We've got a little bit of oil on there, unburnt oil. We've
Yeah.
got to bear in mind, since this engine's been built, I bought it directly off of him without it being run in or anything, so it's only done a few miles. But this all looks nice. The head around here, I can see it's all been skimmed.
Oh, let's
That's
have a
nice.
look there, yeah. There you go, I got it now, yeah.
Valves look nice. This one's running just a little bit leaner than the other. And if we turn it around, I can see down through the springs, all the valve guides look new, which he said, new valve guide springs and valves. So very pleased with what we got here to work with, actually.
Okay, let's get it.
Hey, we'll just give this a little bit of a clean before we go any further, see what we've got. Get rid of this gasket.
Oh, doing this live.
Just look at
Drama.
the gasket here. We've got some funny marking there and there. I'm not sure whether it was blowing. I'm pretty certain it wasn't blowing. But I will just double check the flatness of everything. Right. That's all the bolts off. Got the pistons at the top. It's probably easier to put the pistons down the bottom. So if we can probably move that in there. Oh. Well, it looks lovely in there. The pry bar and one side, the other side. So there we go. They're nice and loose. It should just pop off, as he says.
Oh, this is looking too easy. Oh, look at that.
Lovely. Those two are nice. These have got a little bit of wear on. If I look down in the holes at the cams.
Let's have a look at those piston tops. They look quite new, don't they?
It all looks very good actually. Well, that's good. We're very pleased. I could just turn the engine a little bit to lift the pistons. Just have a look at the skirts.
They look quite good, don't they?
Very good.
Is your eyesight good enough to see the rings?
It's not good enough for that. I'm quite pleased. Quite pleased with all of that. The cam lobes look good.
It looks like we bought well. I think they called it a rocker cover.
I think we're calling these the rocker boxes.
Yeah.
This is the inlet one. We've had a look in here. Everything looks as it is. We can see that it's got spring washers either side, so everything seems to be in, because generally what I tend to find is you get lots of bits missing over the years. But that one looks good. That one looks good. And then we've got the exhaust one here. Again, we've got some springs in there. Two covers, we'll get those powder coated black. Bit of contrast to the sandblasted head. The little inlet manifold, be nice to get that cleaned up and polished. Barrels, as we've said, look good. I can see some honing marks in there from the recent rebore. They're just a bit rough. They just want blasting off, cleaning, repainting, make that look nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
And the head is as good as what you're going to get, really. Everything looks hunky-dory. Tensioner for the primary chain is all good. It's not broken. It's got some tension into it. That's nice.
As for those like me who are a little bit more used to Japanese bike and everybody's wondering where the front sprocket is, I'll show you, because it's hidden away just down here. And this is why the engine's got to go back in the frame to check the chain run to make sure it aligns with the back wheel.
professional polisher. It's just something I do now and again. So if I'm doing this wrong, using the wrong wheels, the wrong waxes, then don't bother writing in. We all probably already know it's not right. But I'm just kind of doing it to get rid of this at the moment with this soft Scotch mop. Just to get rid of the sort of surface scratches, just so we can see where we are. We've got 50 years of use on this casing, so it's not going to be perfect, and there are going to be some deep gouges in it, which we can get most out. But I think it's looking nice already.
Right, well, I've had enough of watching him do that, so just these few more to go. I'm off to the pub.
Okay, so here we are, another stage of the build, the wiring. Fairly straightforward, not a very complicated wiring loom on this bike. It is on there, laid out, it's labelled up as to where everything goes. Next stage is to take the loom off, put some tape around it all, make it look nicer, and then put it back on. We're using Boyer Branson on this one, so we've got a power box for the alternator regulator. This will be charging a battery on this build. I'm just a little bit more happier with a battery power that you get such a good spark. There are batteryless systems, but I always find you can be kicking them for a bit before you get them going. So we've got the Micro Mark IV Boyer Branson box for the sparks, and this basically is for the battery and charging, for the pickup for the sparks, and then we got the wires up here which go to the headlight, and they'll feed the horn and the high and low beam on the headlight. Okay, here we are. We're just sorting out the chain run from the rear sprocket to the front sprocket. We've got a laser line going down the centre of the teeth to the centre of the gearbox sprocket, and we're pretty much there, give or take less than half a mil. What we had to do to get that, this wheel obviously wasn't built with this rear swinging arm, so on this brake plate there was a shoulder moulded into the brake plate, and John has milled off probably about 5 mil. About 5 mil. Adrian at Rickman, he said you need to get this sprocket over here as much as you can and show me a brake plate that would have been milled off. So we've kind of done the same, and literally our first lineup, which was a guesstimate, is absolutely spot on. So we're well pleased with that. Just got to make a little space to the other side where the speedo drive is. There we go, we're just making a spacer up for the rear wheel here. So we're very pleased with the rear wheel fitment. We can go ahead now and get the strip down, get the hub powder coated, TKC 80s on, all back together and back in.
Okay, let's take a break for a moment and then we'll have a look at wheel alignment. So here we are with wheel alignment time. It's a little bit difficult to see, and we've turned the lights out to make it darker, but the red laser line is definitely going straight through the centre of that rear tyre. And if I raise it up and zoom in, you can see right in the distance that that laser goes straight through the centre of that big yoke bolt right up at the front. So I think, what do you think, Mr. D? I think we're pretty happy with how that rear wheel aligns.
I think we've got that better than Triumph, so I'm very happy with that. I thought that was going to be a bit more of a nightmare, but fairly straightforward.
Good stuff. Right, let's get these wheels off for coating. Okay, Mr. D, I think we need to chat to the boys and girls all about these rear engine plates, because it's not quite as simple as you think.
No, we had a bit of head scratching on these. What we've done, we got the engine in, we bolted up the front, put the spacers in, and then underneath that you can't see, it's the engine sits into 2 horseshoes on the frame. So we've got that in, we've spacered it, and got that in nice. And then what you have to do is on the rear plates here is put your bolts in there. There's holes in these plates, but there's no holes in the frame. So you have to drill the frame, which is standard. They all come like that. So it's a question of putting the plates on, then drilling the frame, and then putting your nuts and bolts through. What we've done, we've put some, because we've bolted the engine in 2 places on the engine, it's kind of sat where it wants to be. So instead of trying to pull it around with the plates lining the engine up, we've just put a couple of spacers in to make the plates lie flat, so we're not pulling the engine around against its other 2 mountings. It was a bit fiddly. And we've had to shave a little bit off of this rear bracket because it came onto the weld and wouldn't sit flush on the frame. The plate the other side, when you put that on, same scenario, but the plate the other side sits inside the frame, and it comes with spacers, and there's a few spacers, and you use them to get your distances. Well, here it is. We're all done. For those of you who went to the kickback show at the Malvern Three Counties Showground at the weekend, would have seen it on the Classic Competition Company stand. We didn't have it running then, we ran out of time, we got delayed a bit with the wheels, but we got it running now, got the oils in it, timing's done, so the last thing left to do is to get out there, get on the streets and give it a good shakedown.
One last finishing close-up with the camera and then let's go ride it.
Absolutely. Here we are at last on our road test. First road test of the build. We've done a few miles. And I have to admit, it's a much better bike to ride than the T120 was. A very worthwhile project. A nice bike you can do a bit of cruising on. Got plenty of grunt. It's a lovely bike, gets lots of attention. This is the bike we took to the show at the Malvern Three Counties Showground at the weekend. Lots of people had a look, liked it, thought it was lovely, and now's your chance to get on the website and buy some tickets. You never know, for £2.99 you could be owning this. Absolutely lovely, putting a big smile on my face, and that is all that you've got to get out of a bike. If it makes you smile, happy days.